homes and buying, different things. And so, I mean, I don't know exactly what he's doing. So, I mean, I haven't seen him in quite some time.
Saying like that, people get money, man, things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever.
100 million. If he's burning through 5, 6, 7 million a month, you still got taxes, you still got...
Members of Floyd Mayweather's own family have recently broken their silence regarding his shocking $42 million financial collapse. His father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., revealed that what initially began as a casual discussion about purchasing a car quickly escalated into a heated argument that ultimately led to a deep and painful rift between them. When money comes, people change, his father lamented, expressing his profound disappointment in how fame, fortune, and the trappings of success seemed to transform not just Floyd, but the entire dynamic of their relationship. What was once a close father-son bond has now been strained under the weight of wealth, leaving behind emotional scars that money can't heal.
We had, at one time, we was coming up, we have never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about now? I'm just saying, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, I don't know. I'm just telling you, man. It is what it is. Sometimes, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man. Things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. If sometimes when people get money.
Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, also voiced his growing concern and confusion about Floyd's post-retirement lifestyle, admitting that he no longer understands the direction Floyd is heading. Jeff pointed out that Floyd's recent behavior, purchasing multiple buildings, hopping from one flashy business venture to another, and taking on projects that appear haphazard, has created an image of someone desperately chasing something intangible. Jeff finds it ironic that Floyd, who was celebrated for his strategic mind inside the ring, seems unable to retire fully, frequently returning through exhibition matches that keep him tethered to the spotlight and the money. To Jeff, it appears that Floyd isn't just addicted to success, he's addicted to never stepping away.
I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily see Floyd very much, so we don't really get a chance to talk very much, and so I don't really know what's going on. I know he's doing things that, to better his life, like, buying homes and buying, different things. And so, I mean, I don't know exactly what he's doing. So, I mean, I haven't seen him in quite some time. And I haven't heard about him talking about doing any more exhibitions.
There was a time when Floyd Mayweather proudly declared, "When it comes to legalizing bank robbing, I'm the best." The statement, once a brash symbol of his business genius and confidence, now echoes with a different tone. Back then, Floyd transformed boxing into a personal financial empire, commanding massive paydays that dwarfed the earnings of his peers. But today, that same statement seems less like a clever boast and more like a window into reckless decision-making. His former confidence, perhaps, blinded him to the long-term risks of his spending habits, turning what was once seen as financial brilliance into a pattern of dangerous overconfidence.
A quick heist. I'm gonna let y'all know this. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, I'm the smart one. Because I don't care if you write good about me, you write bad about me, just keep writing about me.
A former business partner of Mayweather dropped a startling revelation, claiming that even at the height of his career, when Floyd was pulling in $5 to $6 million a month, his spending consistently outpaced his income. Despite the seemingly endless cash flow, Floyd reportedly neglected critical financial obligations, including taxes, recurring bills, and essential long-term payments. This unchecked outflow made it impossible to sustain his vast fortune. His empire, built on quick cash and relentless consumption, was slowly bleeding out, and before long, the money that seemed inexhaustible began to vanish under the crushing weight of financial mismanagement.
Look, man, you know, we both made some real money, but you know, you start burning through, you make $2-3 million a year, you burning through $100,000 a month. You ain't really got that much money.
Shit, he probably spending way more than that.
No, I'm talking regular dudes. We say we made $3 million, we burning through $100,000 a month. We really don't got no paper like that saved
that's
up.
A fact.
So even if he's making $100 million, if he's burning through $5, $6, $7 million a month, you still got taxes, you still got responsibilities. So I don't know nobody's bag, but you know, me and you, we real. We never count nobody's paper. So
not at all.
I hope he got $10 billion. And I hope he get out of his problem.
That's a fact, because you would figure he should be able to just cash him out, like whatever the tab is. You know, he should be able to wire that.
Yeah, I think he could do that with no problem. I think he got all the money in the world. I think they may not want it. Some different countries be wanting different things. Think about it. How many times have, you know, we've been involved with something and we go, nah, man, we just throw some paper at it. And I'm talking back in the days when we was doing our little 1-2s.
Correct.
And nah, they don't want to drop the case. You'd be like, I'll put the money up for the lawyer. I'll put the money up for the bail. They don't want to drop it, and you find yourself 9-10 months later sitting there like, oh shit, this shit's getting real. So I think that's the problem he's going through. I think it may be getting real.
Wow, that's crazy, man. And you would figure his big homie Al Heyman would rectify it.
Al's a powerhouse. Al's that dude. Al should be able to rectify anything. He's a Harvard lawyer.
Floyd Mayweather has always taken immense pride in being his own boss. Throughout his career, he made it clear he cut his own deals, signed his own contracts, and answered to no one. That fierce independence helped him dominate the sport of boxing, but in the world of high-stakes finance, it proved to be a double-edged sword. In business, surrounding yourself with advisors, legal experts, and financial managers is not a weakness, it's a critical safeguard. Unfortunately, Floyd's refusal to trust others or delegate responsibilities has led him into a series of questionable investments and a trail of poor financial decisions that even his extraordinary earnings couldn't offset.
Mayweather, after the Aaron Chambers fight, went to Monaco and put 11 million on black. 50 million on black.
Everyone earns their own money. You do what you want with your money. Right?
Yeah.
But to an extent, I don't respect it because you're someone that's in such a seat of influence. Especially when like, we were younger. We used to
look up to Floyd.
What's he teaching the guys growing up? Oh, spunk your money on
dumb
casino,
shit.
Work so hard to get it and then throw it away in the casino. Like, come on, man.
That's the thing. It's like that lifestyle. Floyd is not. One thing he keeps coming back doing exhibitions on that, bro.
Sure.
Probably, I don't think Floyd. Don't get me wrong.
I think his level of broke is our.
Mayweather's taste for grand theatrics and public spectacle has long been part of his persona. His notorious entrance into Mexico aboard a military tank is just one example of the extravagant lengths he would go to command attention. But these elaborate displays, though entertaining to fans, often come at staggering financial costs. The obsession with dramatic appearances and maintaining a larger-than-life image seems to have trapped Floyd in a cycle of compulsive spending. What may have initially been lighthearted showmanship has evolved into something deeper, a compulsion to uphold a public persona, even when that image no longer aligns with his financial reality.
Come on.
One of the most concerning allegations emerged from Gervonta Tank Davis, a former protege of Mayweather. Davis claimed that Floyd was once detained in Dubai due to unpaid debts connected to extravagant jewelry purchases. If Davis's account is accurate, it paints a troubling picture of Mayweather struggling to sustain his own lifestyle behind the scenes. The man who once seemed untouchable, the undefeated champion who exuded wealth and power, is now facing rumors of financial instability that no amount of curated Instagram posts can cover up.
Speechless if this is true, but Floyd Mayweather is supposedly held hostage in Dubai. Gervonta Davis suggested this, who I believe is signed under Floyd Mayweather. Then Floyd responded back of posting a video of Tank dancing on his IG, saying, "We always knew he had sugar in the tank." Like, actually, that's insane posting this online. I'm not even kidding. And then Tank went on his IG story to say this.
Yo, them people over in Dubai, that money. gonna get on live right now. And get old people in Saudi Arabia.
Floyd responded back saying he should fight Shakur instead. I have no clue what is going on with this beef, but they're basically saying that Floyd Mayweather is broke and owes people money and he's hiding in Dubai. I'm actually speechless if any of that is remotely true, but I kind of can see that coming. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Logan Paul and Jake Paul like 2 years ago said that Floyd is actually broke. And it low-key might be true, but we'll see what happens.
There appears to be a consistent, troubling pattern in Mayweather's financial dealings, acquiring luxury items but either significantly delaying payment or neglecting to pay altogether. Vendors and associates in Dubai, once eager to do business with him, reportedly began distancing themselves after repeated instances where Floyd failed to settle his debts. Operating on borrowed time, credit, and an image that can't withstand endless scrutiny, Mayweather's financial strategy seems increasingly unsustainable. Even billionaires can crumble if they refuse to honor their obligations, and Floyd's behavior suggests he's dangerously close to crossing that threshold.
The Tank's come out with a bit of a mad statement, and he said that Floyd Mayweather has been held captive in Dubai because he owes people money and he can't pay them, or won't pay them, one or the other. Before I carry on, please hit that follow button if you haven't already. We're on a mission to get to 10k. Now for me, the idea that one of the richest men in the world cannot pay somebody in Dubai is a bit mad. However, Tank Davis has come out and said ask Floyd to go live right now, and he can't. Which is a fair point, and knowing how Mayweather's ego is, if it was possible for him to go live, he would be responding to this straight off the bat. Now that being said, it wasn't that long ago since we saw that video call between him and Bill Haney on the internet. So whether this is true or not, I do not know. It could just be Tank throwing shots at Floyd Mayweather, because I know that that relationship has been a little bit ropey in the last few years. But you never know, especially with somebody like Mayweather, who sometimes comes across with a bit of a god complex. Maybe he's just tried screwing the wrong people. But let me know what you guys think to this. Do you think that Floyd Mayweather is being held captive in Dubai? Or do you think this is just Tank Davis stirring up some stuff? Let me know in the comments. As always, like, a favourite, save a share, all appreciated. Please hit that follow button if you haven't already. We're on a mission to get to 10k. Peace out.
Davis also shed light on another, more personal dimension of Floyd's character, his deep-seated unwillingness to see other fighters surpass him. While competitiveness is natural in sports, Davis suggested that Floyd's ego simply cannot accept the possibility of another boxer claiming a brighter spotlight. This insatiable need to remain the top figure, even in retirement, may explain why Floyd continues to chase fights and high-profile appearances. However, this obsession with clinging to the throne is not only hindering the growth of his own protégés, it's slowly chipping away at his legacy, leaving behind the image of a man who could not gracefully step aside.
Mayweather set you up against Pedraza. Did he really think Pedraza was gonna beat you?
He didn't know how good I was and how I would have handled the situation, so he just threw me out there.
Why do you think he did that?
He was hurt. He was hurt. I mean, not even hurt. He was just bad. First of all, Floyd don't never want to see no one like a fighter do better than them. How the fuck would you say Terrence Crawford should fight? Gonna be there. That don't make no fucking sense. He don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
He's next in line. This is next in line.
Is there like
the last question, guys?
Is there like a love-hate for like
yeah,
the fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest. But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. And
you're good, man.
And he, cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like it's always I'm this, I'm that, and it just I don't know.
Although Floyd Mayweather has repeatedly claimed to have earned over $350 million from select blockbuster fights, insiders have revealed that these figures were often highly exaggerated. Verified financial records suggest that in many of those cases, his actual take-home earnings were closer to $60 million, a stark contrast to the numbers he proudly promoted. This apparent habit of inflating his income seems to be part of a deliberate strategy to maintain his image as a larger-than-life mogul. However, it raises a critical question: is Floyd's financial empire truly as vast and indestructible as he wants the world to believe, or is much of it simply an illusion crafted to protect his brand?
How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Wow. I know you love money, right? I mean,
it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What do you do with all this money?
You know, cash is king.
Do you have an ATM card?
I'm the human ATM.
Podcaster and UFC commentator Joe Rogan recently brought attention to another potential pitfall in Floyd Mayweather's financial behavior: his reported tendency to neglect his tax obligations. According to Rogan, this pattern could be a major reason why the IRS has kept a close and persistent eye on Floyd. As flamboyant and extravagant as his lifestyle appears, none of it carries weight with tax authorities. Lavish spending on luxury goods may dazzle fans, but ignoring federal responsibilities can swiftly spiral into serious legal trouble. No matter how many millions Floyd claims to have made, tax issues have the power to dismantle even the most carefully built fortunes.
That money to the IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect, and it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell them.
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn didn't mince words when sharing his perspective on Mayweather's recent career choices. To Hearn, Floyd's ongoing string of exhibition fights and increasingly erratic investments paint the picture of a man who is still aggressively chasing money. This is particularly striking given that Floyd has long portrayed himself as someone who had already achieved unparalleled financial freedom. Hearn strongly hinted that Mayweather's relentless need to keep earning is no longer just about staying visible or relevant in the sport. It may, in fact, be about financial survival. The image of unshakable wealth is starting to crack.
How about Mayweather?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
not the biggest
I think that Mayweather was unquestionably one of the best ever. But I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to say he's not a true fighter because he fought everybody he could of his era. But he was a different kind of skill set, you know. He was very much hit and don't get hit, which is the art of boxing. I think sometimes when these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Why do you think he does those things, though? Do you think
for money?
I
don't think he's got the money he says. That's what I think.
You think he still needs the money?
I don't
after
think
all
he
these
needs
years?
the money. But you know when you got that lifestyle, right? So when you're spending what he's spending,
it's a lot of expense.
Once idolized as a symbol of success, Floyd Mayweather's carefully curated public image is beginning to unravel. Fans who once admired him are now scrutinizing his claims, especially those regarding his supposed vast property holdings. Many of these statements have been found to lack supporting evidence. For a man who built his identity on the foundation of wealth, luxury, and victory, being exposed for exaggerating such claims is a devastating blow. The increasing skepticism from his own supporters is perhaps the clearest sign that his star power is fading, and the trust he once commanded is steadily eroding.
Floyd ain't still out here doing big deals. Money Mayweather just inked a massive $402 million real estate deal in New York City, buying up 60 apartment buildings from Black Spruce Management, the equivalent of 1,000 apartment units. Now, Floyd said the goal is to be able to provide affordable housing to families that need it. Most of the units are located in Upper Manhattan. And he said that when he was a kid, his dream was just to be able to own a home, and that you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. Damn, Floyd just bought the block. I'm proud of Floyd. He's come a long way. This is a guy who was once seen burning money in a nightclub. He spent $17 million on a watch. Not to pocket watch him, but people looked at him for years like, yo, he wastes a lot of money. Does he ever give back? And now he's providing affordable housing? Damn, Money Mayweather's come a long way. This is a real good look. It shows evolution, it shows maturity. Not to mention, it's always great to see another person of color become a landlord in New York City.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
And on a point like this, because all of them, we're in New York City right now, we're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on. All this money man's. No partners. All by myself. Over 1,000 apartments. I'm just getting started.
Among Mayweather's most persistent boasts was his alleged ownership of prime land in New York, a claim he frequently used to showcase his investment savvy. However, insiders now suggest that this too was likely overstated. If it turns out that Floyd has inflated the scope of his real estate portfolio, it speaks to a much deeper issue: a repeated tendency to craft a public narrative that doesn't quite match reality. These mounting discrepancies are slowly pulling back the curtain on the persona Mayweather spent years carefully constructing.
If they're safe to say, I should say.
But we might see it more in New York, maybe?
Well, I live in New York.
I know. By the way, I saw you bought like 40 apartments or something.
Well, no, actually,
I think you bought New York. I mean, what, my God.
I didn't buy New York, but I feel like everyone should own a piece of the earth. And I feel like you can't go wrong with New York real estate. So what I did was, in one of my portfolios, because I don't know the exact number, because they said if you know how much money you got, you really don't have no money. So if you know how many buildings you got, you don't really have no buildings. So I think I own right now somewhere upwards of 100 buildings or more.
Joe Rogan provided further insight into Mayweather's obsession with accumulating luxury items. According to Rogan, Floyd's endless parade of diamond-encrusted watches, rare exotic cars, and designer wardrobes might be more than just a show of wealth. It could be a manifestation of hidden insecurities. For someone who outwardly proclaims himself untouchable, Mayweather seems peculiarly desperate for external validation. Rogan pointed out that true confidence doesn't require constant visual proof, suggesting that Floyd's relentless display of status symbols may, in fact, be compensating for deeper internal doubts.
The only person who's been able to do like that is Floyd Mayweather. He's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, constantly flashing money, $1 million watches, you know, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still fucks everybody up. The thing about Floyd is he never lost his discipline. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub. So he would go out in Vegas, he'd be partying, it looked like he's partying, he's drinking water, and then he would have his driver drive, and with his pants on, jeans on, he would jog home. And the dude was always...
Perhaps one of the most revealing chapters in Floyd's life was his public fallout with longtime friend and rapper 50 Cent. During a particularly difficult period when Mayweather faced jail time, 50 Cent reportedly stepped in to manage Floyd's business affairs and personally invested $2 million into Mayweather Promotions to keep the company afloat. Despite this significant gesture of loyalty and financial support, Floyd later denied ever asking for help and never reimbursed the money. The betrayal shattered their friendship, illustrating how Mayweather's rigid stance on money often led to the breakdown of even his closest personal relationships.
50 Cent and Mayweather.
Yeah.
This looked like a friendship that was gonna last a lifetime. What the hell happened?
As he was actually going into jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather Promotions. As he actually got in and I took a look, I realized there is no Mayweather Promotions. There's no LLC. So technically, Floyd is a golden boy fighter. They build the whole show.
Yeah.
When he comes home, there's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign, where, you know, it's $300,000 chains being bought and buying a new Lamborghini and all these new things. And I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that. When he finally does bring up the actual situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell you how to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. Like, Floyd, he ain't that, man. Telling you, man, like if they push me to a certain point, I'll mess up in front of everybody. Cause it's just the way I'm brought up. Like I never ran from anything because I never had nobody to go to. I've always had where I'm going, home to get me.
In a recent video, Mayweather made a bold and crystal clear declaration: money is the one thing in his life he will never compromise on. He admitted that while he might be flexible in other areas, even in boxing negotiations, when it comes to finances, he refuses to bend under any circumstance. While some might see this as a mark of unwavering discipline, others interpret it as a stubborn trait that has frequently dragged him into unnecessary conflicts and fractured important connections. His refusal to yield, even when it damages his reputation and relationships, seems to be both his pride and his downfall.
That we can't fuck up the money. We can't fuck up the money no matter what. We can fuck up a lot of things. We can fuck up the club. We can fuck up a house. We can fuck up a car, but we can't fuck up the money.
So you mean to tell me at the minute where your uncle and...
I knew a fine was coming instantly.
You knew a fine was coming?
I knew it.
But not one piece of your thing said, let me go snuff
I couldn't
Judah real quick.
No.
No?
I was already taking care of business.
Okay, all right. You said, fuck that, let's stay on the
let's
back.
keep it, I mean, my thing was this. We're professionals. I'm not an amateur. You know, this is not a street fight. So when you're a professional and you're a veteran, you got experience.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates coming soon.